Welcome to Tinks Invest, where we talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As a recording time of 3:16 p.m. on the Eastern Time, Ethereum could trade $4,017, up about 1.83% so far. On the overall crypto market and the equity market is relatively green right now. You can see clearly on the left side of the chart, every coin is green at the moment, with some altcoins surging more prominent than others. With respect to MACD, currently up about 8% so far. So we'll dive into that in a bit. And on the equity side, we are rebounding nicely with Dow Jones up about 1.6% right now, Nasdaq up about 2.3%, while S&P 500 also up about 1.75% so far. And perspective, Joe Biden's speech that happened in the last 25 minutes, I just finished watching. I was actually blocked out the time on my calendar to listen in on the verbiage around Joe Biden. Is there any inconsistency with respect to the verbiage that we've seen early from the press release this morning? I would say collectively it's definitely the same, tactical objective mindset that he has proposed to us in the verbiage that we have seen or read this morning. And just to give you some high-level synopsis, right? He's expected to deploy $500 million onto providing additional domestic medical aid to respective regions in the U.S. to support and fight heads-on with this Omicron cases, right? By setting up COVID centers in respective malls and shopping centers and public facilities, and also deploying 1,000 troops, within their medical facilities, onto supporting regional domestic hospitals, knowing the fact that they've been overwhelmed with just having lack of medical professionals to support the COVID patients that we've been cultivating. So it's still something that we are pending on the development going forward. In addition to that, he did say and confirmed on two things. One is with respect to the country shutdown, right? He has no intentions of shutting down United States anytime soon. He's also has regurgitate, and I would say he repeated himself so many times that we are not in March 2020 anymore or 2019 anymore. We're not at the beginning. We are much more prepared this time. We have a lot more PPE, the with respect to the masks, the gowns, and etc. And we are relatively prepared despite the Omicron, unknown factors that we still try to work alongside the U.S. scientists and other global scientists as well, onto formalizing, what's the right medical treatments, right? But based on some of the experience so far, from the Moderna vaccines, the booster seems like it's fighting the Omicron cases, with great efficacy. And he has reminded us, I think he used the verbiage vaccination, vaccinate, get vaccinated, within his speech of like approximately 25 minutes, at least 50 times, I would say, if you count it. If you watch the speech again, you'll try to like detect or count how many times he said vaccinated. I would say in like every 2 sentence intervals he will use the word vaccinations or vaccinated. Obviously, it is a persuasive essay that he's trying to propose in this delivery, and he emphasized, with the word vaccination many times. And he also used the support in part of his thesis, saying that the people that are getting Omicron or even dying from Omicron, he even said the word death many times, which is I find that to be alarming. To be speaking publicly like this, but use the word at least 5 times in his speech. That Omicron can cause death, can cause sickness, can cause great medical injuries, etc., etc. That the catalyst of these people dying is because they are hesitant or reluctant to get vaccination. Right? He said that many times, and he also tried to use some sort of a supportive thesis factors in his essay by saying something along the line with respect to children are dying, like the parents need to get vaccinated, get booster. We do not want children to be dying because of our I guess negligence, if you may, like that's like the word that he said. And you saw that within that part of the verbiage he was relatively emotional, right? I would say, in the beginning of the speech, his delivery was a little bit shaky, which makes sense, right? He was trying to get into a groove of public speaking, and he definitely looked a little bit frail. I think he's definitely under a lot of pressure, and you saw him coughing a little bit here and there. And as he finished the speech, right, which you could tell that he was reading off a teleprompter, it was definitely prepped by a speechwriter. Post the meeting, we saw that, with some of the I guess fast round, bullet round questioning from the reporters. We saw the stocks and also on the crypto side start to dip a little bit because of his reactions to some of the questions, right? It was definitely not as polished in comparison to the speech, right? Obviously, and then one of the reporter asked a specific question around, is travel ban gonna be something that is gonna be part of this discussion, right? Because we talked about the country shutdown, but we didn't really talk about the travel ban, right? And he said that's still up in the air, so that's a pending signal we need to look out for, right? Because he said that he'll get back to us after he's discussed with his team. So I think the substantive ingredients that we have learned from the press release is aligned with what he's saying. It was definitely a persuasive message that delivers some confidence and some optimism into the market. And I would say, we didn't really learn anything new per se from this speech, but it's definitely drives some optimism because of the way he delivered it, right? So I think we are going to be heading towards a relatively healthy green next couple of days, right? We are seeing some profit taking right now, but we didn't see a dip, which is a good thing because it seems like the sell off has already been pretty much baked in and adjusted into the market dynamics. And the sell off, I don't think we're going to sell off any further. I think we're going to continue to sustain the rally, knowing the fact that in behind the scenes, all the hedge fund managers, the crypto fund managers, they have to do something called a window dressing, right? And we are basically about a week and a half or about 2 weeks approximately on to the year end close, right? So the hedge fund managers have to, I think they probably did a lot of like the tax write off already. And I think with respect to the recent volatility, a lot of the adjustments for the tax payment, the tax write off, et cetera, has been pretty much baked in, partially being created by the media affectation as well. That I think, the remaining couple of days, and I think Friday is actually half a day because it's Christmas Eve, would be relatively green couple of days. I wouldn't be surprised, right? Because we are rebounding like nicely across the market. And respect to Ethereum, let's just dive right into the technicals. Then we go to the news to see if there's any news that's really worth mentioning. I would say just on a high read, not really. Right now, Ethereum is looking nicely. We are hovering above the 4,000, right? We had some volatility earlier today. We sold down to about like an hour or 2 hours ago before the speech, obviously commenced. We were trading around like the $3,914, hovering just above the 3,850, right? Right now, with the 47 out of 70, we're curving up right now, so the golden cross is about to be formed. And this could, as we form this golden cross, this will confirm this downward wedge, which technically means that we're going to be surging nicely in the upcoming days. So right now, I think would it be a good choice for us to incur risk or sell right now? I think just hold, just watch how the needle is going to be moving. I think the biggest hurdle has already been jumped through. The biggest wild factor would be, it's just around the travel ban that we might hear from Joe Biden as a new development front. We might hear a press release coming out on just that specific point. But in terms of other things, right, I think we're leaning in the right direction based on his verbiage. I think he's doing a lot of the right things with respect to obviously deploying, the troops to be supporting, the medical aids in the domestic level, putting additional $500 million for supplies. I think we're leaning the right way, and he emphasized many times again, right? Like I keep saying it over and over again, that the people get Omicrons or get some sort of effects from Omicron is because it is spreading fast, but it's mainly due to the fact that these people are affected because they've never got vaccination at all before, right? So that's a big caveat, right? So with respect to Bitcoin, is currently up about 3.5% right now, above the obviously the level of $48,000 with the 48,500 at the moment. So right now we're contemplating on where we're gonna go. We just formed a golden cross recently, so reason why we're surging up right now with the confirmatory signals on the reversal because we're relatively oversold. So next level that we ideally need to get up to will be the 52,700, right? So that's the next level that we need to get to. So we see how that goes. But right now, it's not a terrible level to incur risk still. We at the upper echelon of the oversold, so that's really ultimately up to your risk aversion. But obviously, when we're at the 45, that was the dip basically, right? Respect to Dogecoin is up about 1% right now. Anywhere from the current level to the bottom of 15, 16 is still a good dip for us, knowing the fact that despite up about 1% and the rebound, we're still kind of oversold right now. Cardano is at the 30 out of 70. Still a good buy level. Anywhere from 134 to 120 is still good. So we're 125 just in the middle, levitating. So it's not terrible. Solana is up about 1.5%. I think anywhere from, again, right, 155, 133 to 113 is still the dip for us. XRP is still surging. We are contemplating getting above to the 93 cents level right now. We are basically in between the 93 to 88, right? And I think we are at the okay level at the 53 out of 70. So it's not the best, to be honest, with the upper echelon of the neutral just under the overbought level. So not the best, right? Again, right, the 78 to 69 was the better level to incur risk at. Polkadot is up about 2.3% right now. Anywhere from the current level to the bottom of 22 or 23 is still a better level for us. ALGORAND's up about 2.75%, anywhere from the current level to 125. What's the dip, right? With the 39, so it's at the upper echelon of the oversold. Not terrible, not the best, but is pretty much at the bottom, I would say. Shiba Inu is up about 4%, anywhere from 2,900 to below would be the dip for us, right? Like I kept mentioning, we were there yesterday, technically. MacTag is up about close to 8% right now. We are still surging up because of the golden cross that we just formed recently and the reversal that we see across the market. So it's kind of a baked into two things at once. But again, right, for me to feel comfortable buying, I don't want to be chasing because if you buy now, it's technically chasing. So 175 to 143 is better for us. AVAX close to up about 4% right now. Same, I will say, same dynamics as MacTag. 81 to 60 is still a better level for us. So, with respect to the news front, I would say across the spectrum, there are like not that many news that's really worth mentioning. Again, a lot of regurgitation news, but nothing really around the Joe Biden speech for some reason. Stem around Ethereum. But some of the news that I see is the one about 40 minutes ago that came out from MarketWatch. Says about no longer just Bitcoin and Ether, crypto industry brace for wider adoption, more competition, and perhaps regulatory clarity in 2022. It seems like, yeah, that's fair, right? Because there's a lot of coins that's being popped up here and there, right? There seems like there's a lot more competitors in this industry try to solve for the same comparable thing, right? Decentralized finance. So that is true, but it's a relatively high-level article. Doesn't really talk about specificity with respect to which coin is are more, best positioned for success going forward. It does talk about with respect to the regulatory clarity, like the Feds and the SEC have been working on the crypto bill, the infrastructure bills, etc., etc. So feel free to take a read, but it's not really substantive to be honest with you. And then the next one's I've been thinking about 1 hour ago. Talk about Bored Ape Yachts Club NFT sold for 63 Ethereum. It's a picture of a monkey again with black hair with a blue cap on. 63 Ethereum, I guess. Quite interesting. And respect to risk management level, these are the levels that I have identified here for you guys. Make some revisions here and there. Feel free to take a look and use this as your reference. And with respect to the Joe Biden speech, I think he did the right thing. Is a diplomatic speech, is a persuasive one. He tried to use his delivery method in terms of emphasis, in terms of a contrast, and he used the sobbing, parenthood angle as well, right, to make people feel something, right. Ultimately, he's a salesman again, right. A president is he's obviously reading a speech, right, but you could listen in to the verbiage in comparisons to when he's tactically answering questions. There's some misalignment here and there, right? But ultimately, he did the right thing. I think he did the most diplomatic thing by staying optimistic despite there's a lot of uncertainty in the air, right? So we'll watch out for the next couple of days. I do foresee it's going to be a couple of optimistic days ahead. There's no reason why not, because the technical is kind of reversing, is checking out. It seems like golden cross is forming for Ethereum as well. So we should see some, a happy Christmas ahead of us. All right, so that's it for today with respect to this recap and this update on the technical front. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know your thoughts below as well. And hope you guys have a great rest of the day. So take care.